Hello everyone, welcome to our digital ESL classes. Please be patient and bear with me if it's a little awkward or strange because this is my first time doing videos to teach. I hope you are all doing well and staying healthy and safe during this coronavirus situation. And hopefully it will pass soon and we can be together again in person in class. I know many of you are very busy helping your children with their digital classes or their digital learning days. So I hope you are staying healthy in your mind too. I know it's difficult being stuck at home. So actually let's start like we usually do. Every Tuesday we start by asking each other about our weekend. But since we haven't seen each other for a long time, we can ask, how have you been spending your quarantine? Or how have you been spending your time during this quarantine? For me, as you know, because I recently had a baby, I have been staying home with my baby, taking care of him. So even if the coronavirus situation were not happening, I would still probably be staying home. I have been baking a lot. I think being at home makes me want to use my hands. So I've been baking a lot of dessert and gaining a lot of weight. My husband has also recently started teaching again. He's been teaching also online. As you know, your children are home, so all the teachers are also teaching from home. He started this week, so both of us are now teaching and taking care of our little one. I have been keeping up with my friends and family members through social media and of course phone calls. For church we have been meeting online, which is good, but it's not the same as being together in person. So I hope you have been able to use this time wisely and intentionally with your family members. So in that sense, it's a blessing that we have this time together. Okay, so take some time to share about what you've been doing during this quarantine. You can share with a member of your family. I know they already know what you've been doing because you've been spending time with them at home, but just to practice English, you can talk to them. You're helping your kids with digital learning days, so you can also ask them to help you with your ESL classes. Or if you want, you can write it down, or you can just verbally practice. Also, you can pause this video at any time, and sometimes I will just give you some time to answer the questions that I ask, so you don't have to keep pausing the video. So it's up to you. If you want more time, then of course you can pause the video at any time. Okay, so go ahead and take some time to share about this quarantine. Okay, so we're going to begin in Unit 6, Time, on page 70. So, as we usually do, we are going to describe the pictures that we see on this page. I'll give you some time to make some sentences, and we can look at them together. So in the first picture, we can say there is a boy. We can also say he looks frustrated or he looks upset. Or we can say he is holding his head in his hands. He is holding his head in his hands. We can also describe what we see on his desk. We can say there are papers. You could also say crumpled papers. Let me write that down for you. Crumpled papers. So we can use crumpled for paper. Now you might have seen a word crumbled. It looks like this, but it's a B instead of a P. And we use that for crumbs for food, crumbs. So that's kind of similar. Crumbles for food and crumpled for paper, fabric. We say crumpled. So we can say there are crumpled papers on the desk. We can also say there is a notepad and a pencil or pencils on the desk. There's also a calculator on the desk. But it looks like this boy is very stressed. Okay, and how about picture number 2? What do you see in picture number 2? This one's pretty easy. We can say there is a woman, or we can describe her feelings. We can say the woman looks upset, or the woman looks angry, or she looks impatient. Okay, how about number 3? We can say there is a textbook, a notebook, and a folder. And of course, you can also say this looks like school work or school assignments. And number 4, picture number 4, you can say there is a guitar and there are 2 trash bags. Maybe the green one is a recycling bag, I'm not sure. But we're going to find out how these pictures are connected through the listening activity. So I'm going to go ahead and play the audio and I will ask you some questions.
Unit 6. Time. Page 71. Exercises 2A and 2B.
Oh, Winston, what are you doing?
I'm thinking.
No, you're not. You're procrastinating. You always procrastinate. I'm getting very impatient with you. I asked you to take out the trash 2 hours ago, and you haven't done it yet.
Aw, Mom.
Do you have homework?
Yeah, but I can't decide what to do first.
Would you like some help?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Okay, so why don't you make a to-do list? You know, write down all the tasks you have to do.
Okay, I've got math, an English essay, and a history project.
Uh-huh. What else?
I have to practice guitar. I have a lesson tomorrow.
And don't forget the trash. Write that down, too.
Okay, now what?
Prioritize. What are you going to do first, second, third, and so on?
Well, guitar is first. It's the most fun.
Nuh-uh, I don't think so. Homework and chores are first. Guitar is last.
Okay, should I start with math, English, or history?
When are they due?
Math and English are due tomorrow.
And the history project?
The deadline is next week, on Tuesday.
Okay, so do math and English tonight. You can do the history project over the weekend.
Okay, math and English tonight. Which one should I do first?
Well, I always do the hardest thing first.
English is a lot harder than math.
Okay, so English, then math, then guitar. But before you do anything...
Yeah, I know. Take out the trash.
Right.
Okay, So let's look at the questions on page 71. So number 1, who are the speakers? Also, remember to make a sentence. Okay, we can say the speakers are Winston and his mother. And number 2, what are they talking about? Okay, so we can say they are talking about Winston's tasks, or they are talking about Winston's to-do list. Okay, so I have a few more questions. Let's see. When did Winston's mother ask him to take out the trash? When did Winston's mother ask him to take out the trash? Okay, so you can say, she told him to take out the trash 2 hours ago. She told him to take out the trash 2 hours ago. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the chart, at the list, the to-do list. It says things to do and priority. So priority means importance. So if something is important, we say that it is a priority. If you look at that word, you can see the word prior in it, which means before. So usually we do the important things before less important things. We do them first. That's why we say that it's a priority. So let's list the things that Winston has to do in the order of importance. Okay, so what does Winston have to do? And we can say, he has to take out the trash. He has to take out the trash. And then you can ask, what does Winston have to do next? And you can say, he has to do his English homework. He has to do his English homework. Now let me ask you, he has 2 subjects for homework, but he chose to do his English homework first. Why? If you remember from the listening, he said English is harder than math. English is harder than math, and his mother suggested to do the harder subject first, to do the harder thing first. So he decided to do English first. So that means he has to do his math homework next. He has to do his math homework next. So that's the third most important thing. Okay, and then the fourth task is he has to do his history project. He has to do his history project. So let me ask you, when is his history project due? So you can say his history project is due next Tuesday. Or of course you can say it's due next Tuesday. Also, when are his English and math homework due? When are his English and math homework due? You can say they are due tomorrow. They are due tomorrow. Okay, and finally, what is the last thing on his to-do list? What is the last thing on his to-do list? So you can say he will practice his guitar, or he has to practice his guitar, or just he will play his guitar. Okay, And why will he practice his guitar last? Why is that the last thing on his to-do list? You can say, because it's the most fun thing. It's the most fun thing. So it is important because he has a lesson tomorrow, but it's the most fun and it is probably the easiest thing. So it makes sense to do the easiest and most fun thing at the end. Okay, so now I want you to take some time to look at the story in exercise 3 and complete it with the words in the gray box. So I'll give you some time to do that, and then I will play an audio clip of someone reading the story.
Page 71. Exercise 3A.
Winston is listening to music in his room. His mother comes in and tells him to stop procrastinating. She is very impatient because he isn't taking out the trash and he isn't doing his homework. Winston has too many things to do. His mother suggests making a to-do list. First, she tells him to list all the tasks he needs to do. Next, she tells him to prioritize, to put his tasks in order of importance. His mother says he needs to do his homework and chores first. He decides to do his English and math homework first because they are due the next day. He also has a history project, but the deadline is next Tuesday. After he finishes his homework, he will practice guitar. But before he does anything else, he has to take out the trash.
Okay, so now we're going to do another listening activity. And this is actually from your workbook, but I don't want you to open your workbook. Not yet. I want you to just practice listening, and later you can go and look at it. But I want you to write notes in your notebook, and that way you don't need to rely on the written story, but you can just practice listening. And try not to play the listening more than twice, because we want to improve our listening skills. And in reality, when you speak with an American person, you might ask them to repeat what they said once or twice, but usually we don't ask them to repeat it 3 or 4 or 5 times. So the same with listening activities. Try to limit replaying them to once or twice.
I have too many things to do today. My friends are coming over for dinner tonight. I need to make a to-do list and stop procrastinating. I have to buy food for dinner. I have some chores to do around the house, and I also have to finish my homework. It's due tomorrow. Now I need to prioritize the tasks on my list. First, I want to do the shopping because it is the most important. Next, I'll cook the food. My friends might get impatient if they have to wait for dinner. Then, I'll clean up the house. Will I have time to do my homework before they arrive? Probably not.
Okay, so let me ask a few questions. What is Olivia's problem? What is Olivia's problem? So you can say she has too many things to do. She has too many things to do. And then number 2, what does Olivia need to stop doing? What does she need to stop doing? Okay, so you can say she needs to stop procrastinating. She needs to stop procrastinating. That word procrastinate Okay, so procrastinate means to delay something, especially if it's something you need to do, but you don't want to do it, or maybe you want to do the fun things first, then we might say that you are procrastinating. It's delaying something or putting off something that you need to do. Especially when we say, I have a lot of homework, or I have a test next week, but I have been procrastinating. That means you haven't been doing it, or you haven't been studying, or you haven't been working on it. Okay, so the next question, what will Olivia do before she cooks? What will Olivia do before she cooks? Okay, so the answer is she will go shopping before she cooks. She will go shopping.